All right, so let's take a look at Figma Slides. There's a few new features, some which I haven't quite figured out what the use would be, and but I'll just kind of show you some basics and then a couple of things. One thing that's new is you can now import. So if I go to create, instead of choosing slide deck, I can say import. And this allows me to import images, sketch files, PowerPoints, or PDFs. So let me import a slide deck I have saved out from Google Slides. And it just takes a minute and brings it in. And now I can say done. And here's my slide deck. So it gets all the content in, and it does a pretty basic job at the layout, at the designs. But yeah, better than nothing. And then for new slide, you'd have to save this as a template if you wanted to. I'd probably go in and make this a little snazzier, but you can hit plus and add a blank slide and kind of design it as you go. It is really nice to be able to have the content in there. But if you wanted to try a different template, you can't apply a template. You can just import all of the files. So I could just add one file, or I could add the whole template. Oops, I keep doing the same thing. Add all slides. And what that does is it puts all the slides right where you are in the slide deck. So let's back out of that for a second. And let's just go back to home. I'm going to create a new slide deck. So I have a bunch of options here. There's light slides and dark slides. Those are kind of like the most basic. There are also more slides available from the community, Figma community page, but you have quite a few options here. Let's just do a light slide. So I'm going to view the template. And then once you view, you can either create an outline, which hasn't worked that well for me. It basically has taken my FigJam content and then decided what my slide content should be, and it didn't really work out that great. So I'm just going to add all the slides, and that basically gives you a blank template with all of the slide pages that are available. It's got some nice additions. All of them kind of have some handy stuff. So this one's great for mobile design prototype. There's also that desktop. So here's my slide deck, and I'm just going to click on the title. So let's see. They already have some styles defined, which is great. This is one great use of the template, is that you can go in and change all of these things in one place, and they will apply to the whole slide deck. So let's do that. Let's change title to something exciting. I just installed, what's it called? Was it Authority? Yeah, let's do Authority. And maybe I want it to be bigger. So, it's terrible. I hate it. Agency. Sorry, that's the one. Cool. So I've applied agency as my title, and I can kind of do the same thing with all of these. Agency. Why is it? Oh, I see, because I don't have a header one on here. Section title. Is that a header one? Yeah, so there's my header one. And then let's see, what's this guy? Body. I could change my body copy. Looks like there's 3 versions of body, which is nice. So I'll just change it to, I don't know, acre. Seems nice. And maybe I'll change all my bodies to acre. Body 3. And I have no idea where these are. I'm just kind of like changing the fonts. Okay, and then a note, 20-point type, so it looks like it's small. It looks like that. Okay, Command Z. Go back here, edit styles, body. Okay, so let's edit the note. We'll also make it acre. And then what else do I have? Header 3. Maybe we'll do, Acre doesn't have a bold. Okay, fine. We'll do agency. And header 2, I think I already changed. No. Agency. So now that all these are changed, I don't have to do it to all my slides. Now the template is like ready for me to just copy and paste. All right, so that's one thing. Let's see. To add an image, you first make a box and then you paste the image in it. You can actually paste from your Finder as well, but if I hit R, I can drag a rectangle. And then over on the right-hand side, there is a image button. If I hover over it, I can go choose an image. Let's see. Bird magnet package. I have no idea what this is. Oh yeah, it's from the internets. Okay. So you have some options here similar to Figma design. You can change it from fill to fit to crop. So it's kind of nice to do a fit and then crop. And then you can kind of adjust how big you want it. Hold down shift to keep it the aspect ratio correct. So there's images. You can animate kind of anything. So if I click on this image and I go to animate, you can either animate the slide, but you can also animate objects. So if I click on this, I can say, I can slide it to the right. I can make it fade out. You have your duration. There's really only on click right now. So let's say I want to fade this out, animate out. If I hit play, and I click on this, it will animate out. So some, fun little animations there. And then for the slides themselves, you can say, I want this slide transition to be maybe smart animate. And you can say you have all the options for easing. Maybe we'll bounce the thing. Timing on click of the slide, so you can apply it to just this slide or apply it to all slides. And then it also shows you the object animation. So I don't know, let's apply it to all slides. Why not? You can also, if you apply it to one slide, you can have a different animation on every page if you wanted. But if we play this now, you can kind of see how each page, it's really obnoxious. Everything bounces in. So you can just delete them there. And then maybe you want to try a different one. But there's animation. Let's see, what else? All of the key commands. So T gives you type. Oh, I just realized there's also an image. You can just import image straight from there. There are the standard shapes. This is an interaction tool. So you can go grab a variety of things. So you can embed a live prototype. There is alignment, polls, and stamps. So you can click and then find a prototype, or you can paste in the link, which is the easier bet. But yeah, you can embed, I believe if I do this, it will give me nope, looks terrible. All right. Anyway, you can embed a prototype. You want to make sure that your prototype is viewable in like the screen that you want it in. So phone or desktop or whatever. So it has the cool phone border, and then it will show up like a phone in here. You can create components, although I'm not entirely sure why. But I will just create a new deck down here, and this will be my component deck. I'm going to go into design mode. And so you can see you have access to the layers of the slide that you're in. So here's the slide. you can kind of go into all the layers, which is pretty nice. You can kind of like, get into each layer and modify them here. So on the last page, I'm just going to open up the layers that are non-existent. And let's say I want to have components for buttons. I can click on the type tool. I'll just say button text. That's a big button. I'm going to say Shift A to make it auto layout. I'm going to give it a fill of some color. We'll make it exciting. I'm going to give the text a color of white. Oof, terrible. Let's fix that background. Make it a little darker. Oh, what happened to my text? Okay, and then same thing. First, let's change this from title to header. Yeah, sure. All right, so the whole button, we want to make sure it's centered. I'm going to give it some padding. That is not padding, sorry. Padding, 60 pixels and 50 pixels, 40, sure. And then you can, 400. You can give it some rounded corners down here. So maybe we'll do like 40 for the corners. And then let's give it a stroke, maybe of 12. And I'll make it white as well, which we cannot see right now because the background is, I'll just make this a little darker. Sure, we'll do a background like that. It's looking better every second. Okay, so here's our button. And then if I right click, I can say create component. Now I have a component and I can add variants to it. Similar with Figma design, you can hit the little diamond with a plus, or you can right click and say add variant. You don't have to go to the main component menu first. You just have add component right there. And then this is where, okay, so let's just change this. The animations don't offer you a lot. So this is where I get kind of confused with like, what is the purpose? But maybe it's so you can have a component library that you can plop into anywhere you want. But let's see if I can make any sense of this. So if I go to, let's go to the component property. So we'll just call this buttons. And that's the default. And this one is, well, we'll call this one, I don't know, home. And this one we'll call, let's make it go to thrift books or something. So if I right click on the text, I can add a link to it, but I can also go in here and I can add a variable from this slide deck. And I could call it home link. And then I could just have the words home, but it doesn't actually give me a link. It changes the text, and then I can add a link and make this go somewhere. Okay, and then same thing here. Maybe this one, button text, if I hit properties and I say add a variant and in light slides and call it, where are we going? We're going to bookshop.org. And that is what I want the button text, bookshop. Bookshop. Okay. Create variant. Value, apply variable. Interesting. Name. Maybe it doesn't like the dot. Yep, it doesn't like the dot. Okay, bookshop. And then maybe the text will say bookshop.org. Create. My frame for my component is too small. There we go. And, you can do things like add shadow. I guess we should, since we put a white outline on everything and all the slides are white. So I'm going to add a shadow. And then let's try to use these. So I'm going to just go up to this frame and I'm going to hit plus, and I'm going to go to, you can either say add your own, you can go to local components, and I can choose one of the buttons and place it in my slides. So this component will always be the same. It'll always take me to my whatever home website. So you could have reusable links and stuff. That is one nice thing. While I'm on the subject of reusable things, you can add a page number. So if we go back to this one, you can add slide number and you can put it where you want it and then kind of move it around, and all you say slide number and then count all slides, and then you can even say include the total. So I need to give it some more space, probably a lot more space because it could potentially be, yeah, in the hundreds. And then you can add it to all slides. Count all slides. Okay, within a row. Oh, cool. I haven't even gotten to that. So here we go. We are going to add it to all the slides. And the nice thing about this is that if I go in and I add a slide here, it's going to automatically give it a slide number, and it's going to update the slide numbers to match. Okay, I haven't even gotten into slide organization. So by default, you see it in kind of like Google Slides mode, where all the slides are in one row. And the other nice thing is that you can put things in sections. So let's see, I'll like move this up. You can move them around. And let's say I want this to be inside section title. How do I do that? It might be too hard to do here. All right, well, let's do it this way. This other icon lets you arrange the slides. Oh, it did actually do it. It just didn't seem like it did. You can arrange slides by rows. So I can do this. I can say all of these are for sections. What are you? Simple list. And I can arrange them kind of by categories. Let's put you here. Really, really awesome. And then you can jump back and forth. So if I go back to my list view, here's all my slides. Let me see if, oh, okay. So see how there's a little arrow? This will expand and collapse those extra slides. So see how it goes from 1, 2, 3. If I collapse that, then I go straight to 5. So you can, you can do that. Let me give it a think before I leave you. All right, I'm back from my think. I think the other thing I want to talk about is you can add, where is it? You can add comments. Animate. How do I annotate? I forgot. I've been using them and I can't remember. Hold on. All right, I'm back. It's like all I have to do is pause and then I can find it. This thing right here, show presenter notes, shows this little box. So you can add all kinds of like tra-la-la. This is my great slide about whatever. I tend to put a lot of links in here because when I'm talking to students, I could like paste the link into the chat really quickly. There's like new things like polls. There's all kinds of icons that you can grab. You can have a table for data. Oh yeah, you can put a code block in, which is kind of cool. You can adjust the size of it. I don't know, I'll just stick it right on top. Who cares? So like function. Oh, come on. Yeah, so you can add code, which is kind of cool. Yeah, and when you are ready to share, you have the option of, so if I hit, let's see, if I hit share, you can invite people to view, and also you can publish it to the community. You can get the embedded code, which is interesting. I haven't played with that. But when you hit play, you have the option of present plus notes or just present. And you can set it up if you have two screens to have it on different screens. So you have one that is the slide deck. So you can see mine brought up both of them in one. Hold on. Yeah. So share. Yeah, this is my presenter slide. And the other one was the actual slide. So you can move that over to your second monitor. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. There's new things here. Okay, this is present. All right, I hope that was helpful. They are pretty great. They're getting better. There's a few things that kind of make me nuts about, especially around links. Like if I have text, I can add some link to it. Oh, come on. I'm a link. If I select it, oh, that's new. That is brand new. You now add a link like this. That is really interesting. Okay, we have no idea where that goes. Cool. It used to be that you'd have to select the text and then there would be a little link box. That's very curious. Oh, I wonder if it's design mode. If that's what's happening. Yep, sure enough, when you are not in design mode, you have to paste a link in here. You can even put a slide number in there too. If you just give it a number, it'll assume you want to go to a slide. But you put the link in there and it doesn't give you an underline. So while it's selected, you have to go in and choose underscore. But that is great to know. You can actually use real links if you're in design mode. All right, over and out.